OK，非常感谢大家的耐心等待。然后，我想，我们可以马上，差不多可以开始了，美珍。Thank you for all you guys waiting. So I think we can start. So Meizhen, you can go first, and I will translate for you.
Okay. Welcome everyone to this college workshop that's hosted by PCDC's Teen Club. I'm Meizhen Lin. I'm currently a Drexel student and I'm interning at PCDC. We also have Shengzhou here, who is our Teen Club director. We also have two guest speakers from YM American Academy.
OK，刚才美珍介绍了一下，就是今天非常欢迎大家参加我们的那个大学讲座，然后是由我们 PCDC 华埠发展会主办的，然后是由我的名字叫熊周，然后还有我们的实习生美珍，她是我们 PCDC 今年进来非常优秀的实习生，然后她在那个 Drexel University 读书，然后今天我们还非常有幸请来两位非常厉害的。客座嘉宾孔博士跟杨博士，他们来自美东学院。杨博士已经是第二次进来给我们做讲座了，然后上次的讲座有非常好的影响所以我们今天把这个讲座也录下来了，然后我们会给大家进行分享。
So before we start, I'm gonna lay some ground rules. So please mute yourself when you have background noises or when you're not talking. Unmute yourself to ask questions. Be an active participant. Use the chat or raise hand function to speak when you have a question or comment, and let us know via chat when you step away.
OK， 所以我们这里有一个小小的基本规则，就是说，如果说您刚进来的话，请把自己的背景音调成静音，然后除非是在您有提问或者说是必要的时候，然后把声音打开。然后我们还非常希望大家能够积极的参与我们接下来有些提问互动的环节，然后也请大家善用那个举手栏跟聊天栏，你们可以在里面去发言，然后或者问问题然后如果你们要离开的话，也请通知我们，谢谢。
So a little bit information about PCDC is PCDC, also known as Philadelphia Chinatown Development Corporation, is a grassroots nonprofit community-based organization. Our mission is to preserve, protect, and promote Chinatown as a viable ethnic, residential, and business community. Some programs and service we provide is housing counseling, youth program, commercial condor, zoning, and civic engagement.
Okay. 首先先简短的介绍一下 PCDC。PCDC 是全称是费城华埠发展会，我们是一个非营利组织。然后呢，我们以社区为基础，我们的使命是保护、保存以及促进当地的中国文化和华人社区的发展。然后我们有非常多的项目在我们的那个机构里面包括房屋咨询，以及我们正在举办的那个青少年项目，还有华埠的商业走廊。以及街区的规划宣传，还有公民参与的一些活动。
A little bit about PCDC Teen Club is it is a out of school time program, and we bring resources to Philadelphia's low income, minority, and limited English proficient students. This program was established in 2001, and we provide free SAT prep, college trips, leadership events, and internships. Uniquely, the program offers bilingual English, Chinese capabilities, and every year we serve about 200 students in grades 9 to 12, and this year we are open to 7th and 8th graders as well.
然后 PCDC 青少年项目俱乐部它是一个课外活动项目，我们的目的是给低收入少数族裔以及英语有限的学生提供学术的资源，缩小他们与美国本土学生的一些差距。从2001年成立以来，我们青少年俱乐部一直为学生提供免费的 SAT 的课程，然后还有大学的参观游览，然后以及领导力的培训，还有实习等。青少年项目我们最独特的特点是，就像我们现在正在做的是提供中英双语的服务。然后每年我们青少年俱乐部服务的对象是9到12年级，然后从今年起，然后我们加入了7年级、8年级，所以我们服务的范围是7到12年级。
Here's our teen club schedule. So on Mondays we have study hall and our homework help. Tuesdays we have SAT reading and writing. Wednesdays we have study hall college prep workshops, and Thursday we have SAT math. Fridays we have study hall career workshops. And if you want to join PCDC's teen club, you can fill out required paperwork. I can share this PowerPoint in the chat later on, and you can click through here and see the paperwork yourself.
所以呢，这个是我们 PCDC 的今年的目前的一个活动日程表。我们星期一是有那个线上的自习室，然后你们可以到上面进行提问，然后我们有来自宾大，然后附近的学校的大学生会在这里给大家解答问题。然后星期二我们是有 SAT 的那个免费辅导，星期二是阅读，是4点到6点。然后星期三是今天我们就有自习室，以及在4点到6点的阶段，我们会提供大学的一些讲座。每次我们都会邀请不同的嘉宾，关于不同的主题。星期四是 SAT 的数学，星期五是我们的那个也是线上自习，然后再加上4点到6点的一个职业生涯规划的讲座。然后呢，每次不管到星期一到星期五，我们都可以通过同一个链接去加入到我们的那个线上的活动中来，就是今天大家进来的这个链接，所以非常欢迎学生可以进来使用我们免费的一些资源跟项目，也非常欢迎大家参与到我们 PCDC 的那个青少年项目中来。刚刚我在那个聊天栏里面发出了一个链接，就是说如果您还不是 PCDC 项目会员的话，您可以通过这个链接，然后填写这个表格，加入到我们 PCDC 的项目中来。
有3个栏格。
So if you want more information on PCDC or PCDC Teen Club, you can contact us at our office or our telephone number. And you can contact Seongjo via his email, or you can find out more about our services at our website.
所以如果说你有些什么疑问问题，可以联系我们办公室，这里有我的电话号码以及电子邮件。然后这个 PPT 我们到时候也会跟大家进行分享，所以你可以找到联系我们的信息。美珍 ，Could you please introduce the incentive program as well?
So our incentive program PCDC Teen Club is open to 7th and 12th graders. So members can earn up to $595. If you're interested in getting this, you can access more, and you would need to enroll into our teen club and complete some forms, and you would need to become a regular participant.
Thank you. 所以呢，这里我们着重强调介绍一下我们这个如果说你加入我们 PCDC 的项目，你就有机会可能赢取到595块钱的这个激励机制。这个就是如果您的孩子或者您本身是符合7到12年级的在费城的学生的话，你就有机会去赢取这个奖励。但是你们需要第一步先是注册我们的会员，然后要申请加入我们的这个激励计划，然后这样子的话，你在这个学年结束的时候，你就可能赢得595块钱的激励机制。
And today we are very happy to have 2 guest speakers from YM American Academy. First, we have Dr. Zhen Yang, who is the president of YM American Academy and the head of university application team. He's well known for assisting students to apply to prestigious universities. We also have Dr. Kung, who is the co-founder of YM American Academy. He has in-depth research and understanding of tuition calculation methods and related financial regulations of American universities.
所以我们今天非常有幸请来2位客座嘉宾。我想大家介绍一下，第一位是杨正博士，然后他在12月初给我们做过一个演讲，然后他是美东学院的院长，然后美国大学申请团队的负责人，在大学申请这一方面有一定的声望，然后曾经指导非常多的学生进入美国著名的学校。然后还有这次他邀请来了孔博士，孔博士也是美东学院的共同创始人之一。他长期以来是对美国各大学的学费计算方法和相关的财务法规有深入的研究跟理解，曾经帮助很多的学生家长进行相关文件的审核跟申报。 所以呢，接下来我们把时间交给孔博士跟杨博士。
Now we can have our guest speakers present.
Okay, I'm going to share my slide first. Okay, I'm going to start. When it comes to education planning, today we specifically focus on college education. Because when you send your kids to K-12 private school, pretty much everything is paid for tuition-wise, right? But when it comes to college, that's probably one of the largest expense you might have in the household, right? So college education expense is going much higher, much faster than inflation. So why prepare early? First of all, it's the high cost, right? This is the data from year 2020 to 2021. So if you apply for this year or next year, the next three semesters, right? For the private school, on average, we are looking at $75,000 per year. And for the public school, if you are in state, public school get about 30,000 plus. If you are out of state, it's usually 60,000 plus. So I'll show you the examples here. If you look at the left side on this table, right? This all the private school. Columbia University charge you 70,000. It's about 70, almost 80,000, right? The Princeton 74,000, UPenn 77, Stanford, NYU is all about like a 74 plus or 75 plus, right? So that's for the private school. On the right side, it's all the public school. There is a huge difference whether you are in state or out of state. Let's say, for example, if I'm living in Delaware right now, right? If my kids go to University of Delaware, the cost is going to be this year it's at 30,000, right? But by any chance, if I move to other state, for example, if I move to Pennsylvania or Maryland or any other state, then I come back to Delaware and go to University of Delaware, then it's gonna cost me about 50,000. So that's a huge difference here, right? A huge difference. So here is the reality check. How many kids do you have? Are you ready for it? Now, if you don't have any children yet, how many do you plan to have, right? Just because college expenses are high doesn't mean you should eliminate how many children you should have, right? The good news is a lot of expense. If you learn how to plan, you don't have to pay for by yourself. Okay, this is very good news, right? Chinese.
OK，我现在把那个孔博士，今天我为孔博士做翻译啊，就是说，那个上大学呢是一件很高兴的事情，但是的话，美国的高等教育的这个学费是越来越贵。那么实际上呢，这个多少年来呢，这个学费一直在增长。那么孔博士呢，大概的给大家介绍了一下就是这几类的大学的这些学费大概会要什么情况，就是说，平均的话，目前来说。那么公立大学是在分为这个州内和州外，是在州内的话基本上是在这个3万多每年，那么私立就是州外的话基本上是在6万左右，那么这个私立大学的话正常是要在7万5千以上。大家可以看一下右边他举了几个例子， 就是说你这个是先是 private 给了哥伦比亚、Princeton、UPenn，你看大家都在这个7.5万以上。那么公立大学的话，就是看到这个州内这个是跟州外反正有这个不一样的，就是这是大家要考虑的因素。然后下面大家要考虑你有几个小孩，那么你是不是准备好了 ？OK， go ahead.
All right. So not only we see high cost currently, but it also grows pretty fast, right? This is the pretty new data from College Board, all the way from late 80s to 90s, all the way to this year, 2020. If we have adjusted for inflation, you got to look at the public schools. We grew for about 2.16 two-year public school. Four-year public school grow almost 3%. We'll take off roughly 2 or 3% inflation. So if you look at the dollar amount, all the way through the past 30 years, we look at the almost 6 to 8% increase every year. If you remember Rule of 72, this is one, the rule number 72 is normally you the financially you count how many years your money will double in certain years at a certain interest rate, right? Okay. So if you remember Rule of 72 at 8%, it doubles every 9 years. If at 7%, it doubles every 10 years. So if you have a child, if you have a kid to be yet to born, you are a new parent, you just have a new baby, then the next 18 or 20 years, your child is going to college, right? So if you take 9 years double once, 18 years going to double twice, that's going to be 4 times cost of current day, right? So if we look at the current cost of $75,000 per year, that's $300,000 for 4 years. 300,000 is the current price, right? So 4 times of that, that's gonna be $1.2 million each child. So it's going to be $1.2 million baby in 18 or 20 years, right? That's each child go to 4 years college. That's the cost for each child go to college if all paid by yourself. Now, I know somebody can afford that, that's okay. But that doesn't mean you have to pay the full price, right? And actually we suggest you not to pay the full price because there's a lot of resources available right here, right for you. If you don't take it, it's really waste of time and money. And I will show you some example later on. Chinese.
就是说这个每年的这个大学学费是增长的速度很快的，就是说比 inflation 要这个快得多。大家就是他在这个地方把1989到1990假如视为1的话，那么到现在已经差不多是要这个2倍到3倍之间，就是说那个实际上的话是 private 的那些school 的话是涨的幅度还是比较低的，倒是 public 涨得最快。相当于 public 的话是相当于这个现在是平均的这个增长速度是8%，那么 private 的话基本上是在7%左右，这是这个30年的趋势。所以的话，你现在的小孩，假如你是在学龄或者是那个学龄前，实际上你看到现在是刚才讲到的那个7.5万啊什么东西的，可能再过了多少年就是10几万，这是很正常的啊。OK。
Okay, so before I move on, I'd like to clear out some common mistakes, misunderstanding, okay? Some people may say, let me get all this out first. Okay. some people may say that my kids are too young now. It's too early to save. So let me upgrade my car. Let me upgrade my house. Let me upgrade my kitchen. Let me upgrade my bedroom right now, right? So actually this year, because of the COVID-19 quarantine, I know a lot of people doing some home improvements, right? So they want to spend money everywhere but save for the kids because they think their kids are too young. But just as we just saw, the younger your kids are, the more you got to spend because the expenses are grow faster and faster when time goes by, right? So the younger the kids, the more the cost. So the other people may say, our income is already too high. There's no way we can get any financial aid. That's simply not true either. Because first of all, you cannot control your job security, right? There is no such a thing called job security anymore, unless you work for government. You might have some job security, but we just saw this March, the oil, this March when the COVID-19 come, the oil price went all the way to below the ground, right? We saw a lot of people losing jobs, a lot of people getting furloughed, a lot of people getting pay cut in many industries, right? So what if by the time your kids going to college, then one of the parents lost job, then your income cuts in half or even less. So all of a sudden, you know you are qualified now, right? So also your income level are relative. I will show you an example later on. So some people might say, on the other hand, our income are too low, we will never have to pay anything. That's simply not true either. I have a client who is living in New York. They are a family of 5, okay? So the father is software runner. They make less than like 100,000 a year living in New York, make less than 100,000 a year with 3 kids. And the wife is a stay-at-home mom taking care of the kids, okay? So the kids actually get into New York, NYU, okay, right? The New York University. Normally, with this kind of income, with this kind of burden, right? The kids and this kind of school, normally private school will give you a lot of money, right? So you will expect a full package of financial aid, but you don't have to pay too much. But a letter come back to say that just because of your asset is placed in disadvantage to your situation, in unfavorable situation, so we are not going to give you anything. You have to pay for yourself. So just because they have 2 houses, by combining the equity of these 2 houses, not the market price, just the combined equity of these 2 houses is over $1 million, right? So in terms of the financial aid, both of your primary residence home and your investment house are considered as your equity. That will influence your financial aid for private school. This one I will talk about later on. So the public school is much cheaper. So some people say the public school are much cheaper, forget about private. This is pretty much myth, right? Public school might charge you less on the price tag, but it might not cost you less. There is a huge difference between how much they charge you and how much you need to pay out of your pocket. Remember, there is something called discount. There is something called grant, something called financial aid, right? When it comes to private school, on a large scale, the private school might give you more financial aid based on the same situation when compared to public school, okay? So if you plan well, you might pay the same amount or even less for your kids to go to private school than to public school. We just have recent examples of this year. Thanks to our client, actually, private school costs less than 2 of the public schools. Very interesting, and I will show you later. Chinese.
好，这个就是在这个学费的对这个理解当中，有几个比较普遍的这个误解呢，就是第一，就是说我的小孩还很小，我现在开始准备的话太早。实际上的话，刚才根据那个孔博士刚才给大家写的那个曲线，大家就看出来，就是说这个学费的增长的这个速度是比那个通货膨胀率要高得多的。所以实际上你的小孩越小，你将来要付出来的学费就越高，所以你就要更加需要这个及早准备。那么第二呢，是这个很多我们中国人来到美国以后，已经这个很多年积累了一定的这个工作经验，然后工资呢也比较高，然后他们就认为，他说我们的工资都已经很高了，反正填不填我们也不会拿到这个financial aid的。那么所以很多人他就不填了。其实的话是这样子的，就是说第一，这个你的这个收入就是说是基于你的工作之上的。假如你要是说丢了工作的话，你能不能保住这份，就是说你的收入就没有了。然后呢，有些学校呢，是你进大一的时候，第一年你假如不申请的话，以后你是不让你第二年重新申请的。所以这个东西你一定要就是说认认真真的从开始的时候就申请。然后第二的话，这个收入水平是相对的，你认为你的收入很高，但是事实上可能申请的人别的家长比你收入更高，这样子的话，特别很富裕的那些私立学校，他就会你能够从他们的那个学校里头拿到这些 grant 啊，就是别的还有那些 scholarship 啊。还有就是说 discount 就是有这些词，你要知道这些东西。就是说其实我孔博士里头没讲到，其实哈佛大学去年那个入学的新生里头，家庭收入在50万以上的超过15%，比社会上的人高得多。那么第三个呢，孔博士讲到这个就是很多人认为这个说是我的收入很低，所以我肯定不需要交学费，但是这个事实上是要你填表填对了，让学校看到你，你才能真正拿到好的这个financial aid。那么他刚才举了一个例子，就是说那个家长的话，他这个是收入很低，而且也应该是得到这个从这个收入层面来说，他应该能得到financial aid。但是呢，他由于他的资产配置，就是他的房产上面有很多的这个出租房的那个equity。那么到最后算下来的话，他反而就是要交很多学费，这样子他拿不到这个financial aid。所以你的资产配置就也帮助你，就是说对于你这个交大学学费是影响很大的。还有一个呢，就是大家普遍的认知，就是说刚才就是说公布那个放在已经看到了，就是就 public school 是交的钱要比这个private。就是比私立学校要这个低，所以我们就申请这个 public， 然后不要到那个私立学校去。其实的话，你假如这个计算的好，这个可能付的钱是差不多，因为那些 private 的大学，它都有学校有很多钱，它会给你很多资助，所以到最后你要是根据这个你的情况算下来，有可能这两个交的钱差不多，甚至于他刚才举的那个例子的学校交的学费比那个 public 的那个学校交的学费还要低，所以公布学费跟你实际交纳的学费 不是一回事。OK。
Okay, so we talk about the financial aid. There's two different aid. Number one is called merit-based. Basically, it's awarded based on student achievements, like your GPA, your SAT score, your extracurricular activity, your leadership activity, your volunteer work, Boy Scouts, Girl Scout, such stuff like that, right? Those are merit-based. The other one is called need-based. There is nothing to do, zero based on merit, okay? It only based on data collected on one or two forms. Number one is the FAFSA form. A lot of people know this form, right? The full name is called Free Application for Federal Student Aid, okay? If you apply for private school, usually on the top of FAFSA, you need to fill out another form. It's called the CS. So let me ask you this. Do you know what percentage of merit-based awarded and what percentage of need-based financial aid was awarded per year? It used to be 50-50. Now it's almost 10-90, right? So less than 10% of total award the financial aid base, right? So some universities even spell out crystal clear. Oh, Chinese.
好，这个财务支出呢，实际上就是分为两部分，一个就是 merit basis， 就是根据你的学术情况和你的表现来的，就是说，还有一部分呢，就是说叫 need basis， 就是根据你的家庭，这个财务情况。那么家庭财务情况呢，有两类这个申请的，一类呢就是叫 FAFSA， 就是 Free Application， 这个就是联邦，这个。学生资助，就是说这是对普遍的公立学校的，还有一个叫 CSS， 就是对于这些私立学校，它有这个 scholarship 的这个申请。那么实际上呢，在这个里头呢，就是说 merit scholarship 的话，现在基本上就是比例很低，大概只有10%左右，大部分呢这个都是在这个就是 need base， 是在90%，就是绝大多数的。OK。
So we just talk about that. Less than 10% of total awarded financial aid coming from merit base, and over 90% come from need base. So some universities even spell out crystal clear that, like this slide. If you look at one university, they say, let me read this does not offer aid based on academic achievement, athletic ability, or any other form of merit. 0% of merit, 100% need-based, right? So a lot of universities are followed through, especially Ivy League. So now you know it used to be that Ivy League schools are very hard to get in because it's competitive and also because it's expensive, right? So even if you get admitted into this the Ivy League, some family might not be able to afford it. That's very unfortunate, right? So, but now they almost leave those unfortunate events. As long as you can get in, you can afford it, right? If you cannot pay for it, no problem. We will pay for you. Chinese.
就是这些学校呢，不是说每个学校都有这个 merit scholarship 的，像这个几个藤校，他这边孔博士举的例子是这个布朗大学，他就在网站上明确说了，他说他没有这个根据你的学术表现、你的运动能力或者另外这种 merit scholarship 的。实际上这几个藤校的话，他们就是他们的概念就是认为他们的学生都是很优秀了，你假如能够来上学，那么我肯定就是说会让你你能付得起你自己付，你要是付不起，我们学校帮你付。所以对这些最顶尖的这藤校来说， 最大的难是你拿到学校的入场券。
So because there's something called information asymmetry, right? Information asymmetry. Here is pen. That if I hold it in the middle, it's almost symmetrical, right? If I hold on this end, this is unsymmetrical. So when it comes to information asymmetry, what I mean is that some information, if you don't know, you probably got to pay extra that you don't have to. But if you know it, then you got to save a lot. Say, for example, if you go to Black Friday or this, if you know the discount, you can get it for a very, very low price, right? But if you don't know the discount, you might have to pay the full price. So it doesn't mean intellectually or that much of difference, right? So it's just that you have that piece of information that I don't. So that information comes cost. Chinese.
那么实际上来说，你到底从这个学校的这些公布学费跟你实际交纳的学费里头差多少？你怎么样能够就是说交纳更少的学费？这个游戏规则是怎么样的？那么孔博士举了这2个例子，就是说他一个是在那个它的对称性，一个就是平衡，一个就是不平衡。那么你知道这个学费大学是怎么样计算，需要你交多少学费？你知道的越多，你就可以这个省出越多的这个学费，就是根据大学的规则。那么我们美国是一个透明的社会了，就是说所有的规则都是放在明处的。但是你假如你不去知道，但是你要知道了这个规则，那么你可以就用更少的钱上同样的大学。所以我们在上大学之前，在准备学费之前，就要花这个精力来了解这个他们交纳学费的规则是怎么样子的。OK。
So now, did you know this? This is a pretty recent actually. It's October 16, 2018, right? It's $2.6 billion free college money went unclaimed by 2018 graduates. 2.6 billion, right? That's only for 2018 graduates only. That's only for that year alone. It's not accumulated, and it's just for that year alone. $2.6 billion, and this is not the whole the financial aid package. All right, this is just the federal Pell Grant. If you ever fill out the application form, the FAFSA, if you are familiar with financial aid package, you will know all kinds of scholarships, grants, work study, loans, something like that. And you will know that federal program is only count about 10% of the whole financial aid package, right? So say that if you get the financial aid package, the federal Pell Grant, usually less than $5,000. $5,000. I don't ever see it over 10,000. Just that small portion. Just that small portion is $2.6 billion. So already for that year alone, because a lot of people didn't fill out the form, just because of that, a lot of people get admitted to college, a good college, but can't afford it. They have to choose the second choice, right? So they have to move away from their dream school. And meanwhile, the good college can't get a good freshman come in. So they can't lower the price, but they can give you more money for you to afford it, right? So it's simply like that. So that's probably why a lot of state, you have to fill out the form. And when you fill out the form, you might get it, and the result might surprise you. Chinese.
就是说，他这个放出来的这个表，就是说2018年，他以2018年作为一个例子，就是说在这个 2018年这是2.6个 billion， 就是26亿美元的这个学生的这个 FAFSA 里头的这个资助，实际上是没有人来这个就是申请，所以就很多人是因为不知道这个事情，然后到最后就是白白的丢失了这些机会。所以的话，你首先第一步你要降低你的学费，你要去填这个表。所以就很多州里头，它就规定你的入学条件之一，就是说它的州立大学，你一定要去填了这个 FAFSA 之后，你的这个申请才算是完整的。包括后面，对不起。
You go ahead.
就是包括实际上它那个里头的那几个就是 work study， 就是在校的勤工俭学，还有那种 federal 的 loan， 这些东西都是在这个 FAFSA 的申请底下的。OK。
Actually paying and how much how much aid you can already you can actually get each year, and this is for the class 2023, which means you entered the college last year. If you get admitted to Princeton University last year and you graduate 4 years later, the tuition for school year 2019 to 2020 is almost the $70,000, right? The $70 cost of attendance, room board, fees, books, something like that. But the average grant for student admitted in admit 2023 class is $56,500. That's all the grant. That's all free money. You will never have to pay back, and you will never work for it, leaving only like 13,500 as an average cost of tuition, room and board, and fees. You spent 13,500 per year to go to Princeton. That's crazy, right, Kenny?
那个孔博士举了这个普林斯顿这个2019年入学的学生的例子。那么普林斯顿的这个公布的这个学费跟这个总的费用，就是说，实际上它是学费加上那个 college 费，还有 room， 还有 board， 那么加起来差不多是7万。这是就是2019年入学的时候。那么实际上普林斯顿这个学校呢，就是刚才说到了，这个私立学校的话，这个它的资助强度很大。那么普林斯顿它所有的这些学校的这个平均资助的话，它是每个学生是能够达到$56,500美元。那么实际上它每个学生平均交纳的费用也就只有$13,450美元。OK。
So, I didn't forget that. So actually, for a lot of people, I know for a lot of people probably don't believe that, right? But this is exactly from their website, and that is exactly the statistics, right? So they might charge you a higher price on the price tag, but you really don't have to pay a whole lot, right? So Chinese.
这个是那个普林斯顿的他的学校的网站上的，就是说的话，这个他们的资助强度要比我们这个公布的这个是多得多，就是说那么实际上它的平均的 grant 刚才那个 slide 已经就是说放过了，就是说它是 average 的 grant， 就是平均的这个资助是56500。那么而他的学费的话是这个是51000，所以实际上他的资助的平均的资助，就是说他把每个人的学费差不多平均下来都交掉了，然后还帮你出了一部分你的这个住宿费。那么在这个普林斯顿的学生毕业的时候，就是82%的学生毕业的时候是不负任何债的。
Okay, so this is the way I show you that how Princeton is affordable. the family with 1,000 gross income or less will never have to pay anything to go to Princeton if you get admitted. Okay, so and the average grant of 52,000 here. Average the grant of $52,210 for full tuition coverage for family makes 160,000 and less. 160,000 and less. So that's 100% coverage. That's really good news, right? So if you just apply, so now some people may say it's probably for low-income family. We made all the way to middle class, or if you made $250,000 a year. So some people in their imagination, you have to be poor enough to qualify. It's simply not the case. Let's look at here. If your family income is 180,000 or less, you get 100% chance to qualify last year, and 100% chance. Okay, if you just apply, everybody will get it. If you are in this income bracket or lower, okay. So how much will you get on average? 47,000 per year, per person per year for 4 years. It might be even more because every year you send in new application, right? So how much do you have to pay back? Nothing. You pay nothing back because this is all grant, 100% grant. It covers over 90% of tuition, okay? So if you are not even middle class, I mean, yeah, if you make more than $250,000, let's look at the bottom line. If you're looking like make over $250,000, you still have more than 1/3 of chance to get over 25,000 per year for 4 years. And it covers almost half of your tuition, right? So if you just apply, that's much higher chance to bet the stock price goes up and down, right? It's much better chance than winning a jackpot, a blackjack, right? So it's really good news. I would say if you look at this March COVID-19 disaster relief fund, if you are qualified, you get what? $1,200 per adult, right? $500 per kid. That's what? That's a couple of $1,000 per one time. For one time, just for one time, right? It's not monthly, it's not yearly, it's only one-time thing. You have to make like $75,000 or less as a family to qualify for this relief fund. But for the financial aid, if you make $75,000 per year, you would get like $65,000 per year for 4 years for your kids to go to Princeton, right? So that's is really good enough, right? Chinese.
这个是普林斯顿的那个，就是不同的这个他的家庭收入啊，模收入，就是说得到这个资助的情况。那么实际上大家就是可以看到，你在家庭收入在6.5万以下的话，基本上是所有的钱你都不需要付的。然后6.5万到8.5万之间的，就是学费也不要付。那么你的住宿费的话，他会学校给你资助75%。然后的话，再往上，反正到了这个12万到这个14万之间的话，基本上还一部分你的住宿费。到14万到16万之间，那么基本上你也不要付学费。那么再往上，一直到25万的家庭年收入，那么还有可能拿到这个49%的免学费。那么但是呢，你要正确的填写他的申请材料。你假如申请材料填不好的话，你这个钱是拿不到的。这个钱你只要好好的填，这个机会要比中大奖的机会要容易得多。哎 ，OK， 好。
So Princeton is not it's not alone, right? This is brown. If you make like 150 to 200K or less, you have 87% chance to qualify at least $38,000 per year, and that's pretty much all grant. For family make over 200,000, you can get like 24,000 a year as well. Chinese. Okay, I'm going to the next slide. Okay, so when the UPenn UPenn is the same thing. The data is a little bit older, but still, if you look at this column over here, right? The red part is represent the family contribution, means how much you have to pay out of your pocket.
OK，这个是那个这个 U 盘的这个情况，实际上跟刚才那个几个大学都差不多了，哎。
Doc Cole, can you unmute yourself? I think I accidentally mute you. Sorry.
Okay. So UPenn is the same thing. Okay. The data is a little bit older, but still, if you look at the column over here, the red part represents the family contribution. Means how much you have to pay out of your pocket. The light blue here, it's work study, usually a couple $1,000, like 1,000 to 2,000, right? The dark blue, it's represent the grants. If you make less than the $190,000 or less, you probably will only pay half the price. Okay, these are all Ivy League schools. Now the question is all about whether you can get in or not, right? If you can't get in, there's nothing to do with you. As long as you can get in, most likely you will be able to afford it. You will be able to afford it, right? Now, if you make $500,000, I have example as well. If you make $500,000, you still can get some financial aid. It's just less. It's just less, right? So it doesn't eliminate your chances to get financial aid. Okay, but Chinese.
这个是那个 U 盘的这个情况。实际上的话，我觉得我没必要再repeat 了，因为从这个表已经看得很清楚，就是说你到了这个20多万呢，你还有机会拿到这个资助啊。可能看这个表，就是刚才孔博士已经都解释过了啊。
Okay, go next. My screen was freeze. Okay, let me see what happened.
你可以把它只有退出去，重新再写啊。可以这种情况呢，你把它close it. Can you close it?
It's not. I can. Okay, let me stop sharing. Someone's sharing, right? I cannot share anything.
Let me.
Yeah, I cannot share anymore.
Okay, so let me give you permission. Let me make you as a hoster so you can share the screen. Is that okay?
Okay.
So I just changed the hoster to you, and I think you can probably share the screen now.
It didn't go there. No. Is there someone else is sharing the screen?
I don't think so. So Mei Zhen, can you test it? Can you share the screen first?
Yeah, I can test.
I think we have
Can you change?
the PowerPoint
You
as
can
well.
see. Oh, you want me to share the PowerPoint?
Yeah, I think we have the PowerPoint. So Mei Zhen, are you still able to share the PowerPoint for Dr. Hong?
Yes. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm coming now.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's we just here. Okay. Okay. So now this is another example. Actually, it's from University of Pennsylvania. It's from University of Pennsylvania website. They compare the real example. So on the left side we it's UPenn 2017. Okay. On the left side we look at the cost of UPenn at 2017. The cost of attendance COA is $66,800 in terms of the cost, right? This child get a total package of that of $56,800 in terms of financial aid, in which the 53,000 is 500 a grant. You don't have to pay back. The expected family contribution is 10,000. It's 10,000. Okay. On the other hand, on the right side, the public university in Pennsylvania, the cost is much less. Okay. Actually, it's 30,000 in total. So, however, the financial aid package was was also much less, right? It's only it's 20,000 financial aid package with 11,000 grant, the same amount of the work study, and still you get like $5,500 worth of student loans, which you will have to pay back, right? So of course, some of the student loans you can postpone the payment. You can postpone the FC. It's the family contribution, EFC, in short words. We will touch that in a little bit, okay? So it's pretty much if you pay almost the same amount of money or exactly the same amount to go to Ivy League school versus to go to public university, which one would you choose? I believe most parents or most kids will choose Ivy Leagues or choose the private university, right? So here is another solution. Some parents ask me, why? Well, I know my kids. They are not that smart. Their grades are not that good. All right. I'm pretty sure that they are not get close to Ivy League. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. You know, what do I know? What do I do when it comes to the college preparation? What do I do if it comes to financial aid? Well, one thing logically, you can maximize your asset allocation. I will show you that later on. On the other hand, you can actually apply for some private university that ranked not that high Let me say that again. You can choose universities that's private, but not rank that high, which means they have more money. Okay, Chinese.
他举了这个就是同一家的这个拿了2个学校的这个通知，一个呢是 U 判2017年这个入学的，那么U 判的话，这个他的总的这个package 是给了他56800，那么其中的话这个 grant 是这个53500、3300，到最后的话这个家庭也需要付这个1万。那么另外呢，还录取了本州的这个州立大学。州立大学呢，它这个总共的这个需要交纳的费用呢是3万。但是呢，这个州立大学不像公立大学那么有钱了，这个那么他给的 package 的话是2万。其中呢，这个 grant 是11200，然后还有这个 work study 就是勤工俭学是3300，这个还有一个 student loan 是5000多，那么你家庭到时候也是付1万，那么在这种情况之下，那么问你家长，你愿意选哪个学校？这个答案是你要选这个左边这个藤校了，对吧？所以也就是说，不是说private 这个交纳的学费就比这个高而是要根据具体的情况，你的家庭情况，来决定。OK。
So here is another example. This is actually from one of our clients' kids. I think they are living in Boston, right? So this is University of Amherst, public university in Massachusetts. And this is the Resident Polytech Institute, also called RPI. It's a prestige private school, right? When it comes to the cost, the private cost, the private cost that is like 20 more cost $21,000 more compared to the public. However, the financial aid package was also $20,000 more. So leaving the EFC pretty much the same, right? It's only about like it's about $695 per year difference, right? So if you have actual like $700 more to send your kid private, would you do that? Right? Chinese. Chinese.
OK， 对不起，刚才我那个把那个mute 掉了就是说这个呢是一个同样的就是另外一个学生他拿了这个UMass 和这个Rensselaer 这2个学校的，那么他的这个上面这个呢是 public 的，下面是 private 的，也看到这个 private 的总费用需要的费用是59000，然后 public 的总的费用是38000，但是到最后的话，这个 EFC 就是说你需要交纳的学费都是$24000。
Okay, so now we see enough examples, right? So by far, there's a lot of things we didn't know. There's a lot of different measures we didn't know we can take, right? So now, how our needs are calculated. So if 90% of financial aid is based on needs, it's very simple calculation, okay? So COA minus EFC. COA is stand for cost of attendance, means tuition, room board, fees, books, all those things, right? Total cost. The EFC stands for expected family contribution. So if you can demonstrate enough needs, you will get enough financial aid, which means you want this, you want this number to be big, and you want this number to be little, right? As little as possible. Because cost of attendance, that mean the price tag of the university, you can decide, right? So it's up to the school, but your goal is to lower your EFC, right? The out of pocket the out of pocket cost, simple enough, Chinese.
实际上的话，大家知道，你到最后交多少学费，就是取决于2个值。第一就是它的这个CFA， 就是 cost of attendance， 就是你的实际上就是学费加上你的住宿费加上各种费用的总和。然后呢，另外一个值就是叫家庭期望支付值，就是说你的家庭需要付多少。刚才我们举的那几个例子里头，就是说到最后，就是说公立大学，就是第一个是 UPenn 跟他那个本州州立的，就是 Penn State 都是交1万多。第二个例子是这个认识了跟那个UMass 都是交2万4。那么实际上我们也就是说，把这个你的家庭期望贡献值把它降下来，那么我们就能够从这个学校里头就是说拿到更多的钱。Okay.
Okay, so now EFC is calculated based on 4 different factors. Okay, the parent income, parent asset, student income, student asset. Okay, there is some details about it. You can search you can search for it in the website instruction or CSS profile instruction. In later slides. So I told every parents that come across, I told them, if you don't want to pay everything out of your pocket when it comes to college expenses, there are 2 things you don't want to do, okay? It met exactly what you thought. Number 1, try not to let your kids work through college. Preferably start 11th grade, 2 years before college. And here's why. Because 50% of what they make, the student's income will be deducted from financial aid package you could got. So if your child just take a part-time job, let's say work for McDonald's, for supermarket or others, as an intern job, something like that, and make like $10,000 a year. Okay, so every year they are going to get $5,000 less in terms of financial aid, and 5 times 4 is 20, right? So $20,000 go down to the drain. Here is the thing: if they make $10,000 a year and they are going to spend it, right? So, and who make up the difference? Who's going to make up the difference? Who's going to fill that hole? You is really no point financially, of course. Of course, it's a good practice, right? It's good to get parents to have, but they can do non-paid volunteer work, right? They can do the nonprofit, they can do volunteer. I don't know. Just don't have a taxable income. Number 2, the other thing you don't want to do is to save a lot of money on the kid's name. You can open checking account, saving account, or investment account on the kid's name. You can have account on the kid's name. That's okay, but just don't have a whole lot of money in there. Okay, so especially try not to buy a house on the kid's name or give a house to the kid. I've seen a really, really bad example. We have a client whose kids go to Rice University in Houston, one of the best private school in Texas, right? So, you know that the Rice doesn't have a big campus, right? Their on-campus housing is very, very expensive. So the parents is smart enough, and they actually work hard enough to save some money on site, a little condo. They are the center, the center area close to the Rice University, and the two bedroom apartment. So the kids as the co-signer in the attempt to accumulate, I would say the credit history from early age, credit wise, that's smart thing to do, right? But financial aid wise, it's really not smart. So they original thought, you know what? Instead of paying rent, I would buy a house. I can accumulate the asset, and that asset can appreciate when I sell it. By the time when kids graduate, I actually can make some money from it, from the capital gain, right? And also he can find a roommate to share the rent, build up the credit history. So I'll tell you why it's not a wise thing to do, especially if you take financial aid consideration. That house, let's say it's it worth like $160,000. Okay, that roughly 20% of that will count as student asset. 20% of that is $32,000. So every year you will get $32,000 less per year from your financial aid. In 4 years, you will lose like $128,000. Let me ask you, for a condo or apartment worth at a price tag $160,000, can you collect enough rent? Or in 4 years, can you claim enough capital gain to cover $128,000 loss? And that is after tax money, by the way. That's after tax money. So I'm not even talking about the maintenance, not talking about all the hassles when you become a landlord, right? So just not make any sense financially, right? So don't do that. Okay, D, student income, student asset, cross out, keep it 0, okay? That's best. For A, it's parent income. So if you are making, if you are W-2 income, there is not too much you can deduct, right? If you are 1099 income, for example, our business, this is a total different story, right? So there is a lot of expense you can write off. There's a lot of qualified deductions. A lot of qualified expense could be deducted to lower your counted income. Okay, so B is, oh, sorry, where did it go? Okay, so B is parent inside, parent asset. This is the part most people will trip them over, and there is also where people can get up easily, can actually make some small adjustment in advance, so you can qualify for financial aid. That's the that's rightfully yours. Okay, Chinese.
这一段恐怖是讲的太长了，我没有完全记得那么多，那么我只能把它的主要的这个内容跟大家传达一下，就是说这个家庭贡献支付的这个贡献值呢，就是说实际上是分4个部分，就是说家长跟这个学生的这个家长的这个收入。家长的这个财产，学生的这个收入和学生的财产。那么实际上总的来说的原则就是说，尽量减少学生的这个收入的这个数额，就是在你的申请大学之前的1年的数额。然后呢，还有这个学生的这个名下的这个财产不要放。假如放了的话，这些钱统统是作为就是表示你自愿愿意送给大学的。然后这个家庭这个收入跟这个财产，反正也是有这个一定的比例，怎么样计算？来从 W2 还有1099，还有你的财产，尤其是你的房产那个计算。 对这个申请大学的这个学费计算影响很大。OK。
Okay, so parent income. Let me see. Okay, so parent income. Let me touch in base that a little bit. So what's actually count as parent income? Some people may say net income. Some may say gross income. Some may say HGI. Let me tell you once for all what has impact on financial aid. It's called MAGI, modified adjusted gross income. Okay, if you ever file a tax return yourself, if you ever file a 1040 form, you're probably familiar with AGI as adjusted gross income, right? So what is MAGI? MAGI means your AGI plus pre-tax 401k retirement contribution for that year. Say for example, if you work for a company or for 401k, if you maximize your 401k at 19,500 per person, and your income is let me just use the ballpark number, okay? Say your income is 119,500 per year. Okay, so after your contribution, 19,500 into your 401k, so your AGI become 100,000 even, right? So that's your taxable income. However, when it comes to parent income in terms of financial aid, you need to add this 19,500 back. So they use this number basically for your contributed 401k in previous year. If you don't, they don't count that. If for the previous year they don't count anymore, but for that year, the year you apply, you fill out the FAFSA, still have to count, right? So that's that means the last minute contribution doesn't work anymore. So what can actually reduce parents' accountable income? Simply two words, okay? Business expenses. If you have side business, though now more than ever, people are looking for side business, actively searching for side business, okay? So, and even toward financial aid application with the qualified business expenses, you know, of course, this year is different, right? Because the COVID-19 quarantine, most people stay at home. But in normal times, when you travel, your meal, your gas, your office supply, your laptop, your phone, all of those things will lower your accountable income. So that you will put you on more favorable financial aid application. So that's the income. Chinese.
就是说，怎么样来计算这个你的这个 financial aid 的那个里头的家庭收入？那么家庭收入呢，这个里头实际上计算的就是叫 modified， 就是说经过修改的可以调整的那个总收入，实际上就是那个税表里头的你的那个 AGI。就是说要加上把你当年就是算申请填FAFSA那一年的，你放到 retirement 里头的钱要倒算回来，而你以前交的那些这个 retirement 呢都不会算的，只是你当年就是说要倒算回来，加到这个里头，所以这样子就变成 modified AGI。然后呢，就是说你假如要把这个income要想，其中就是说你假如要是有 business 的话，你的 business 的 expense 都可以考虑进去的。今年因为这个有这个 COVID-19， 所以这些东西可能没有那么多的 expense， 但是往年的话，你各种的这个商务的这些旅行啊、旅馆啊、吃饭啊、费用啊，还有包括你的手机啊这些东西，都是可以把它减掉，然后减少你的收入的。OK。
So asset, this is something that, remember anything of today's presentation, I would suggest you remember this slide, okay? There are two different kinds of asset. There is included and there is excluded. There are a whole lot of included. There are only 3 excluded. Let's pay attention to the left side first. I will get to the right side in a little bit, okay? So what counted? 529 to start with. The 529 is a kind of after-tax money investment, specifically for education expenses purpose, right? So you can't use it for any other things. Usually when your family gross income over 250,000 or 300,000, then you can start looking into it. No, I actually was talking to a couple last week. They actually just have their first child, right? So, and their family income is over 400,000, close to 500,000, right? So, and we actually discussed 529 options, and that is suitable for them. But if your family income is under 250,000, I would not suggest you look to 529 to begin with, because as we just saw the previous slides, the examples I present to you, that you still have very, very big chances to get financial aid, right? So however, if you do, if you already have 529, first of all, the asset in 529 will be counted as like a 20 to 25% of parent asset. Most likely, mostly is 20%. But also for some school, I've seen that if you do have 529, they don't even care how much you have in there. They just simply throw you into rejection pile because you have a portion of money set up specifically for college education already. So why would we consider you instead of something else, someone else? So it makes sense, right? So use it cautiously, okay? The second, UGMA, UTMA, Uniform Gift to Minor Act and Uniform Transfer to Minor Acts. Most people don't use it anymore, okay? So stock mutual fund obviously will be included. Your savings, your CDs will be included. Some people may say it's unfair. My CDs was locked in 5 years. Why it still count as part of my asset? Well, 5 years is your choice, right? You still can pay a penalty and get it out, right? So rental property, it's where it usually be counted twice because the equity of the rental property, your investment home will be counted as parents' as rental income will be counted as parents' income. So you got to be cut twice, okay? So normally we would suggest you, if you want any financial aid, if you don't want to pay everything out of your pocket, try not to maintain too much rental property. If you can get rid of, if you can't get rid of it, that's fine. If you really, really like rental property, because I know a lot of our Chinese friends just like rental property, right? So you can do it after your kids graduate college. How about that, right? It's just 4 years, right? You know, just 4 years. Be patient. The trust fund also count. The resident home, most in-state public school, they don't care how much, how expensive your house is. You can have $1 million mansion as long as you live in it for 2 years in the past 5 years. That's considered as your residence home, right? So for public school, they don't count. But for private universities, they count your rental property your investment home as well as your resident home, right? And again, they don't count the market price, but they count the equity. Say, for example, I have a house is worth, my resident house is worth like 500,000. I still have like 300,000 worth of mortgage, right, in this house. So the equity is left over 2,000. So that's the amount is counted in here. So some people may say that, you know what, that I'm going to bet my kids is going to public school. I have friends that graduate from UT Austin, and you probably know that their mascot is Longhorn, Texas Longhorn, right? So start from where when the kids was born, they buy everything Longhorn. Their entire nursery is covered covered in Longhorn, right? That's Scott. That's actually Scott your child in life. Okay, basically, they are just brainwash the child. Just go to UT because first of all, your mom and dad went to UT. Second of all, it's cheap. We can afford it. If you go to Rice, I'm sorry, you have to borrow student loan. That's simply not the case. And you can't really guarantee your kids is going to do that, right? So what if your child, your kid get admitted in Harvard? What are you going to say? What are you going to tell them? Sorry, we can't afford it. That's not good, right? So here is the thing you can do. Let me get back set a little bit here. On the left side is included asset. On the right side are excluded asset. There are only 3 different kinds. Your qualified retirement. They may for your 401k, 403b, 457, your IRA, your Roth, all of those things. For qualified the annuity, it's not count for both. It's not count for both public and private. Non-qualified annuity, for example, if I just found annuity from my bank account. Also, it's after-tax money, right? That will not be counted when it comes to public school, but for private school, it still counts. Okay, and then it comes to the IGIP. It's investment growth insurance policy. Some people probably more familiar with IRS tax code as 7702, or the actual products, the LL, IUL, as well as the VUL. Okay, so these things: retirement account annuity, and the growth, the investment growth insurance policy. That's not account. Okay, so some people may say I'm even not 40 years old, so I don't even qualify for annuity. So most annuity will not sell to me, but I can still fund my qualified retirement account, right? So, and put in money into IGIP account. Virtually for the IGIP, there's no limit as long as I'm healthy and I'm qualified, right? So move money from the left side to the right side according to your specific situation. So whenever it fits you, wherever it fits you, allows you, so you can do that, right? So Chinese.
OK， 就是说你的这个父母的这个家庭财产里头，就是说各种各样的，就是有些在申请大学的学费里头是要计算进去的，有些是不计算进去的。那么我们看一下，就是说这个左边的那些是大多数的都是要计算进去的。第一个这个家长就是问的比较多的，就是这个529教育基金。那么实际上这个教育基金呢，在这个里头，实际上是，它是当然有一定的好处，就是说它的那个state tax 它是算不出来的，但是的话，它实际上你申请了这个有了529之后，实际上就是告诉学校，我的这个钱就是拿来 给这个小孩这个交学费的，所以大多数的学校，它实际上就是把你的这个529给这个小孩名下的存了，就是25%，然后4年把它用光，哎。然后呢，第二个就是什么 UGMI 跟 UTMI， 大多数人都是没有的，所以这个不细讲。然后这个股票跟这个 mutual fund， 还有 saving 跟这个 CD， 这个东西是就是手上的家庭里头的现金值了，这个东西是 absolutely 要算在这个里头的。然后还有一个就是这个出购房，那么我们的人呢都喜欢在这边买房子、出租啊什么东西的。但是这个出购房的equity是算在这个财产里头的，哎，然后实际上，就是说还有一个就是说那个 trust 的叫什么信托基金也是算在里头的。那么还有自住房的这个东西呢，在这个公立学校是不算在里头的，但是私立学校是要算的。那么在这个还有几类值，这个不算的呢，就是一个是你合格的退休金啊，这个是你要 qualify 的时候是不算在里头的。然后还有 qualify 的这个年金也是不算的。然后还有一个就是税号上面写的那个就是叫7702，实际上就是有现金值的保险的值，那个是不算的。所以实际上的话，我们这个聪明的对策，你要解这个交学费的这个里头的这个就是财产的计算值，就是要把这个左边的这些部分的钱往右边各个部分里头转。OK.
Okay, so here is where I got the information from FEFSA Instruction 2020 to 2021. Chinese.
这个表里头是 RIS 的这个文件，就是哪些值算，哪些值不算，这些都是美国这个政府，就是说是那个就是这 FEFSA 的那个网站上面的，就是2020到2021年的这个指南，这是有官方来源的，哎。
So in summary, to maximize your financial aid, first of all, first of all, don't save money under your kid's name unless it's excludable. You can, if it's not counted, you can do it. Otherwise, try not to put a lot of money under your kid's name. You might actually backfire, right? So number 2, reduce includable asset and reallocate the money to the excluded asset, just like I said. Also, whenever it's possible, start a business. The IRS actually allows you to file a net loss for the first 2 years, and they don't even fine you anything, right? So you can reduce your MTI by starting your business. Deduct a lot of your normal day-to-day expense as qualified business expenses. Okay, Chinese.
就是说怎么样来能够就是尽量的争取到更多的财务自助呢？就是有几条，第一条呢，就是你要在这个小孩不这个尽量不存到这个小孩名下，除非这个钱是在那个 excluded 的那个就是 excludable 不算在那个里头的那一类别。那么第二个呢是要减少这个 includable 就大人的这个父母的这个财产，就是说左边的刚才那个表左边的那些财产里头。然后第三个呢就是怎么样尽量的把那个左边的那几条的钱往这个右边的那个财产里头转。还有一个呢就是说你要是 start 一个 business 的话，一开始基本上都是亏损的，然后你再有一些 expense 可以把它计算进去。OK.
So there is different type of education fund. I was asked a lot by many clients, by our friends, say, I want to start education funds for my children, right? We start, right? What types of education funds are actually suitable for my family? There is no, there's no one-size solution to fit all, right? You got to look at the different aspects. First of all, is that education fund friendly? What I mean is friendly is that if the fund actually discount your financial aid package, if the fund discount your financial aid package, you might think it twice or do a little bit calculation, okay? Like we have talked about the 529, right? So, and the second thing is the tax benefit. Is the fund to have any tax benefit? Because we know this is not an emergency situation, right? It's your money inside education fund has to grow. There is need to grow, right? Because you need to beat the inflation, right? Asset growth. If there is benefit in terms of the tax deferral or tax free or tax or other or some, at least some tax advantage, right? So something like that. And the third thing is if the fund has the contribution limit. If you have contribution limit, say if you can only contribute like $2,000, it may not even cover the fees. It may not even cover the books, right? So also the usage. Is it if I can't use up all the college funds, can I use somewhere else? Can I use for other purpose? Is there the flexible? Is there any flexibility? So also the final is legal protection. That's the probably another layer of consideration, right? So if I ever get a suit, such as credit situation, do I need to pay back? If there's someone is sue me, well, this portion of money be actually taken away, right? So if I lost a lawsuit, even if you have a very good lawyer and do everything right, you still could lost a lawsuit, right? So if I ever lost a lawsuit, my kids' education investment will be in jeopardy. So this I'm not going to a lot of details, but one thing I want to point out is that the legal protection is also one thing you need to pay attention to. Okay, so Chinese.
OK，那么你现在这个孔博士呢，刚才举了就是说这个6类的这个 education 的这个 fund， 那么他们的优缺点的比较。那么首先呢，考虑这个钱你拿得来之后是不是对这个 financial aid 有影响？那么就是说是不是实际上也就是说这个你有了这个钱，你就告诉学校你要交学费了。就是假如你有了这个钱，学校还要不让你算到这个交学费的钱里头，这个就是 friendly 的，就是友好的，就是那个绿的。然后第二个呢，就是在这个 tax 上面有好处的呢有几类就是有3类当中的然后这点呢是友好的。另外一个的话，就是你放这个钱的这个有没有上限？那么看就是说有2类是没有上限的然后别的是就是说有上限的。另外一个就是你用的时候有没有什么限制？这个529最大的就是专款专用，然后还有那个一个 state tuition price fund， 就是说只能 in state 的 public 的学校。然后还有一个所谓叫 legal protection， 就是说你在遇到官司或者有别的问题的时候，会不会这个钱会不会受到影响？那么就是说这个是后面的3个是根据不同的州有不同的规定。
Okay, so let's look at some actual example. This exciting part. So if you go to Princeton website, and you can easily find which so-called net cost calculator or net cost estimator. So I put in gross income of 200,000. Let's say husband and wife make 100,000 each. I know this is for some states other than California, right? If you live in Silicon Valley, I see a lot of people starting with 200,000 per person. So for family with 200,000 gross income and with 500,000 worth of includable assets, I'm not specific, right? It could be stock, it could be saving or other equity, and they are contributing 19,000 each. This is for previous year, okay, 2018. This is the 9,000 into their 401k, so it's 38,000 as a couple. So the estimated tax payment for that year is about 20,000. If your kids ever get into Princeton, this is how much they charge you, $74,000. That's the total charge, okay? And the total expected family contribution, the EFC is 70,000. The estimated financial aid is 4,000. So you get a tiny little discount, 4,000 in this situation. So you don't get a whole lot of financial aid. It's not because you make 200,000. It's most likely because your 500,000 includable assets. Chinese.
这个是举的一个家庭的例子。这个家庭的例子呢，就是说他的这个年收入是20万，然后呢，他有这个要算到那个交学费的财产里头，有这个50万，然后还有私立开当年的那个计算值是38000，然后还有这个他当年付了税的话付了2万。那么这个家庭呢，到最后呢，就是说。是整个普林斯顿的那个 package 是要74000，那么这个算出来的话，就是家庭的话，这个家庭需要付7万，然后得到的这个financial aid就是4000，这个大家可以看一下，实际上比刚才我们平均的那个得到的financial aid要低得多啊。
So let's make a little change of the situation, okay? We still the same family, still the same income, 200,000. Instead of 500,000 includable asset, how about we move the majority of it into excluded asset? That's for example, move your savings, CD or stock, mutual fund to excluded account. Leave just enough money for emergency fund in my bank account, okay? Probably not hold any money in my property or rental property. So you can move money around based on your situation. Doesn't have to be what I'm describing. You can move included money into LL. Into qualified annuity or even into a 401k if you are still if you can still fund it, and instead of fund traditional or another thing is instead of fund traditional 401k, how about switch for a Roth 401k, right? So if you still have kids that yet to go to college, most likely you are more likely you are 50 years old or younger. Which means you still have like 10 years or more or 20 years when it comes to retirement age, right? So which also means you are exposed to 10, 15 or 15 or 20 years of tax hike, right? So we are in deep debts now, deeply in debt as a country, or actually our tax rate overall almost at a historic low, right? So if your company offer a Roth 401k, and give you much. Why not switch the traditional 401k to Roth 401k? Now, if you switch to Roth 401k, don't get the same deduction as traditional 401k, which means you will end up paying more taxes. Instead of 20K taxes, you may end up like 40K taxes for that year. And that may actually benefit you actually instead of your get like 4,000 financial aid, look at that. Look at this. You are going to get like 41,000 in financial aid, right? This is 10 times more. You pay 20K more taxes, you get 41K more in terms of financial aid. So, and that lasts for 4 years. That every year you apply, every year you get this much for financial aid, or even more, because the tuition increase, your financial aid increase as well, right? So you can play. You can play with the calculator. Actually, a lot of universities, especially the private university, have this net cost calculator or net cost estimator. Play that calculation based on your situation. You can move money around, see how much you can get. Okay. So meanwhile, all the money grow in your Roth 401k is tax-free, right? Okay, Chinese.
这个就是这个家庭呢，他假如要是说把这个里头的这个财产部分，这个就是说做一个合理的重新分布的，那么算出来的结果，就是大家可以看出来，就是他的这个总的发那些 aid 就可以到4万，然后他只要每年掏3万多就行了。看。
So here comes the real example. Okay, this is actually one of our friends' daughter, Emily, had already graduated from college. She's kind of enough to share her example. Okay, so NYU, it's a very good school. Correctly, her major is film directing. Okay, so I believe in her first year. In her freshman year, her parents make about $500,000 a year. And this is how much she get. To go to NYU that year, all $70,000, the full tuition coverage, full room and board, full package, right? In which $30,000 is free money. The 30,000 scholarship is free money. 24,000, no, sorry, here, 2,400 are student loans. Even though they are student loans, I would still suggest you to take it. This is why. Because a lot of student loans are subsidized, right? What it means is that during the 4 years of college, you don't have to start any payment plan. You don't have to pay anything out of your pocket because they know you are in college and you don't make any money. And also these loans don't occur any interest and during the college, during the 4 years, right? So if you finish college education, if you decide go to graduate school, go to business school, go to medical school, go to law school, and continue further education, they still postpone your payment plan till that finish, till that higher education finish, right? So how about that? It's almost like no interest loans for prolonged period of time, right? So if you ever bought anything from Best Buy, or you are offered this option to pay in 6 months or 12 months and no interest collected, interest free, is that good? So that's just for 6 months. And we are talking about 48 months or even longer, 0% interest loan. So it's actually quite stimulus, right? So I hope you take that money if they are offering. Chinese.
这个地方呢，他举了一个他朋友的那个小孩的例子。那么他这个呢，在从 NYU 大家知道是这个学费很高的，但是他拿到了这个7万多的这个financial aid，那么他接受了他的 scholarship， 然后别的部分呢都没有接受。他这个说到这个 loan， 实际上这个 loan 里头呢，就是说那几个 federal loan 那些东西，实际上他的那个学费那个东西不是它的利率是很低的。那么你 就是说假如你要是说到什么 Home Depot，你去买个东西，要是给你6个月不付的话，你都会很高兴。那么这个东西的话是几年你都可以不要付的。那么所以对于这种低利率的 loan 的话，大家好好的考虑一下，可能拿下来可能还是更有利的。OK。
So this is another example I'm talking about. This actually is very recently. This is a 2020 to 2021, right? This is an offer letter in this March. This is a student apply for Penn State. So for public university, they are charging less. True, it's 47,000, but they are only offering 55,000 in financial aid. And I'm guessing maybe a portion of it are student loans. So it's leaving you like 42,000 out of your pocket. Okay, Chinese.
这个呢是一个就是刚才州立大学就是 Penn State 的，它的这种他给的这个账单，就是说他总共需要4.7万，但是这个家庭4.2万，而这个查出来的所谓的 financial aid 的5500的话，估计正好要第一年的就是那个 federal loan 的那个数目。OK， 来。
So another public university giving is Purdue, also a very good public school, right? By the way, the family MHI is around 140,000 in 25 for this year. So for public school, Purdue asked for 43,000. They offer you 55. They offer you 5,500 student loans and leaving you 37,000 out of pocket. Chinese.
这个是普渡大学，这个也是一个实际上就是说这个基本上差不多都是要交全学费公立大学，除了这个 loan 之外，OK。
Let's take a look at private university. This is a resident, the RPI. They are asking for 75,000 as a total cost. However, they are giving out 42,000 in terms of financial aid, the financial aid package, leaving only 33,000 out of pocket. Let's look at locate a little bit. A public school, if we remember, the Penn State charge you 42,000. The Purdue charge you 37,000. Private school here charge you 33,000. So you tell me where you want to go, right? Of course, RPI, right? So within, let's look at the 42,000, right? Within the 42,000 financial aid, there is leadership award that's 33,000. That's kind of scholarship you will never have to pay back. There is also the school sponsored grant 4,200 will never pay back either. The federal student loan, the subsidized you have to pay back, but you have to pay back, but it won't create interest until you graduate, right? So unsubsidized loan, the only thing you have to worry about is that small amount. It's just it's just 2,000, right? So how is that for financial aid package? How is that for reallocate your asset? Are you satisfied for to have this result by just simply reallocate your asset? So remember, this is for the first child they have, and the younger siblings they are going to do the same for every single year, especially for a year like this, right? Many people are losing job, getting furlough or getting pay cut, and we are giving people financial aid with 37,000 free money. You will never have to pay back. So 37,000 free money. You will never have to worry about to pay back. You will never have to worry about affording a good school that your child actually get admitted, right? This is really good news, right?
这个是刚才同样一个家庭，他也同样拿到了这个认识的，就是 RPI 的这个录取通知。然后呢，他的发是75000美元，结果呢，学校总共给了42000美元的资助，其中这个 free money 是37000，然后你那个5500的那个 loan 是一样的啊，然后到最后这个家庭只要付33000，反而比那2个公立大学要交的学费还要少，所以大家选择去哪一个呢？这个就是显而易见，那就是 RPI 嘛，OK。
More example, this is an example from one of our friends in Boston, and his child actually went to University of Pennsylvania, UPenn, right? The first year, the UPenn asking for 59,000, but they got 42,000 in financial aid. So second year, they charged the tuition went up, the cost went up to 62,000, and they got 40,000. The third year, the cost went up to 64,000, and they got 44,000. The last year, the cost went up to 67,000, and they got 38,000. You got 40,000 in average for 4 years, 160,000 after tax money for 4 years. So where you can get that, right? So every single year on average, they are spending like 20,000 and they go to Ivy League school. So tell me where you get that, right? Just because of good planning. You may ask how much they made. Did they make less than 100,000? No, no. They make over 250,000. At least last year, I know that they make like 300,000 as a family. So with the 40,000 financial aid, only a couple $1,000 are student loans, right? The majority are grants. Did I get your attention? I hope so. So Chinese.
这个家庭呢，就是说他举了几年的这个平均的例子，每年都能够从这个优派这个拿到4万块钱的资助，所以你就是说的话，这个关键就是说你要做好这个good plan， 这样子才能够有机会拿到这个好的这个财务资助啊。OK。
So how to apply for financial aid? Well, first of all, everybody needs to fill out FAFSA form, right? Even your kids are still or 2 years away from college, pull out the form. It used to be that you have to fill out like 20 pages right now, but right now it's all electronic, right? So it's all electronic. Since it's a federal student aid form, it also linked to federal income tax form, right? So you just link your social security number. It's a federal website. It will pour your every single detail from your 1040 form. You will never have to fill out to risk filing in the wrong number. So it's much easier now, right? So CSS profile is for the private university. It's a longer form than FAFSA, but it's also the electronic, okay? So now some deadline you need to pay attention. It does change a little bit sometimes, but normally early consideration, the first day you can send in your application is October 1st, okay? It's October 1st. Truth to be told, the first year, if you didn't get a financial aid or you didn't get enough financial aid. So for the freshman year, apply the next year because your situation might change, right? So the guideline might change. The amount of money they give you might also change, right? So every year is a new application. Every year, even you don't qualify this year, next year you might lose job, you might start a business, you might lower your income, or you might lower your accountable asset, right? So you might get in much better situation. So apply every year. So the result might surprise you. Chinese.
OK，这个呢，就是说申请这个 financial aid 呢，就是要填2个部分。刚才已经说了，一个是 FAFSA 跟 CSS， 就是 FAFSA 呢是对这个 FAFSA CSS 呢是主要的是私立学校，也有几个公立学校也要填 CSS。那么每年呢，它是在这个你申请大学的那一年的这个10月1号开始 open， 就是说对你就是到高中生的就是10月1号。然后呢，对于这个异地业的学生的话，大多数是要12月1号之前要填完。然后呢，对这个 regular 的学生呢是2月1号之前。那么你假如要是说第1年没有拿到的话，你后面的话可能情况还会变化，不等于后面拿不到。所以你只要这个每年要把你的这个家庭财务情况的这个更新情况都要把它放进去。OK。
So, FAFSA and CSS income reporting, it's used 2 years. So for 2020-21 school year, use the 2018 tax return, because before the tax day, you have to fill out the application form already, right? So the current senior year. Now take a look at the different years: 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. This is where you can look over to your tax return. Okay, go back 2 years. Chinese.
这个是什么年度？就是你填你的家庭这个财务情况，就是说像这个第一行是这个今年已经高中生的，他就是说现在就是说不是叫高12年级的学生，那么填的话就是填你的这个又是2018年的税表。你要是说2021到22年这个进入那个的话，就是拿那个叫2019年的税表，这个是他的你的就是 best 也就是填哪一财务情况。OK。
Oh, it's not moving again. Okay, so all right. Some people ask me about 529. So because of tax cut, the tax act, okay, Jobs Act, also called the Trump tax cut, right? 529 in many states can be also used for K-12 schools. For most states, for most states, before you can only use it for college expenses. By the way, it has to be qualified college expenses. I have some really creative clients ask me, you know what? I probably oversaved in 529, and probably invested a little bit too well in 529. And my kids probably won't use all of that money. What if I take that like 50,000 to buy a BMW for my kids, right? As a college transportation, can I do that? Well, unfortunately, you cannot. You cannot. It's not qualified college expenses, right? So it used to be you can only spend on college room and board now many states allowed for laptop, for backpack, stuff like that. And for all these states here in the gray color, you can use it for the K-12, the K-12. For the orange states, like Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, all these orange states, you can only use 529 for college dependencies. Okay, so 2 years or 4 years. Now, emergency method. So if you have kids going to college next year or in 2 years, right? What can you do? If you want to, if you maximize your 401k already, if you don't qualify for annuity or something like that, what can you do, right? That will be another topic. So, Chinese.
这个是那个关于529，就是说你已经这个qualify expense 的话，每个州的这个规定是不一样的，这个它在这个2种要出来了。
Okay, so in summary, how to maximize your financial aid? I'll use one of the slides I have shown you before. So I will say plan well and plan early. Okay, I'll stop here. Thank you. I'm finished.
OK， 那你那个这样，我因为后面还有一些内容，这个
I'll stop sharing. You can share yours.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kong.
对不起啊，我要先一下我的视频，然后还有一些内容要讲一下子。今天可能时间比较长了啊。
杨博士，我们这边一共有，我现在整理了一下，有13个问题。
等一下，你等我先讲完这个我现在这个怎么等一下啊，我怎么好像这个有些。多了，我可能要关掉，重新来那个写一下子。就是说，因为有些家长问到这个哪些这个在这边找到了对不起就是说哪些这个学校这个录取大学和这个会影响这个 financial aid。就是说这个申请 financial aid 会影响大学录取，有些学校呢是不影响。那么我是有个清单，因为刚才孔博士讲的时候呢，等于他就是说没有到这个里头来就是说顺着他这个说是另外一条思路，所以我把这个清单给大家定的，就是说他申请录取的时候是不跟这个大学挂钩的，就是2条线，录取归录取 financial aid。那么这个呢是对美国学生和所有的国际学生。那么这个总共只有6个学校，第一个是那个克里斯音乐学院，其他5个都是大牛校，第一就是文理学院的那个第1名，然后哈佛大学、耶鲁大学和麻省理工。然后第2类是我们大家最希望的，就是说这个是对美国这个学生最有用的，就是说他也不挂钩，就是对所有的美国申请的人，还有这个而且能满足你的所有的财务需要。 这是一些大学。第三个呢，它是 not need blind 对 US apply 的，就是说它是要挂钩的。你申请这个 financial aid 就减少了你的这个录取机会，但是它能满足你的所有的需要，就是说你只要录取进来了，我还是能把你的这个需要给满足进来的。那么第四个呢是这个你的 sensitive 就是 not blind， 但是它也不能满足你的所有的需要。这是这些学校，那个，然后还有一个 not needed 这是还有一个就是说刚才漏了一类，就是说 need blind， 然后对所有的美国学生，他是就是说要挂钩，但是不能满足你的需要。那么这个 slide 呢，已经这个讲座之前，这个张主任已经发给大家了，然后呢，我这边呢还有这些公章和这个关于怎么样申请这个CSS 怎么样填写，都有具体的步骤。那么我们也会帮大家提供这些服务。要是有什么问题呢，我们可以及时通过PCDC 跟我们联系，或者直接加我微信也可以。那么现在我们刚才这个讲座之前，这个PCDC 有一些收到一些问题，那么我现在一个一个来回答给大家。请好，我把这个先 stop OK， 现在你发问题吧
So Doc Kong, can you make me as a co-hoster so that I can share the screen?
他好像已经那个了，我来回答吧没问题
我需要变成那个 co-hoster， 这样子我可以 share screen。好像我现在我试试看吧。
那就是
好像可以。你能看到我的屏幕吗？
好，行。
对我们这里一共有15个问题，需不需要我把它变得大一些？
就这样，我来一个一个回答吧
OK。
第一个问题 ，Are these situations only or international account as out of states？ 这个 international 都是外州的这个没有什么疑问的而且 international 学生绝大多数不适用我今天的讲座。这个就是刚才我讲了5类学生，只有第一类是这个就是说对所有国际学生的。那么有部分学校对美国和加拿大、墨西哥居民都适用的所以我在我们群发讲座的信息的时候，大家这个国际学生，请大家没必要听。第二是这个什么12万的 investment， 这个东西要看你所有的家庭情况，所有的这个家庭财务一起把它放在里面才能算得出来的。第三，想知道申请奖助学金对录取几率的影响，刚才我说了那几类分类，大家可以对照那个分类，或者有具体问题我。第四是的，一个 pay for 4 years， 一般的是在第一年算，你后面保持你的 GPA， 它有个 GPA 的 requirement， 这个各个学校的规定不一样。那么最难的2个是UChicago 跟那个 Duke 的，他给的全校的几个 for scholarship 都要3.7、3.8的。那么别的大多数是3.0， 基本上你就能满足他的需求了，就可以4年一直拿下去了。然后还有一些这个在校学习期间比较优异的，然后在学校之后到校还可以继续申请。sorry， 对不起，我写过 grant 是 pay for year， 是 grant 是每年根据你的家庭财务情况，你那个这个就是说 FAFSA 跟 CSS 填了之后计算出来的。这个第4、第5申请奖学金是时间是录取前申请，跟申请的时候是同步的，就是跟申请大学它有个 deadline， 然后你每年要更新，它也告诉你时间表，你遵循就是了。I'm a junior graduate in 2022 when shall I opt to apply for FAFSA？ 你还有1年机会。 对，就是说应该在进大学的那时候申请，这样子就是机会比较大。第7个问题 ，EFC is volunteer reported， 这个是就是你填那个 FAFSA 的表吗？就是刚才我们整个这个今天的讲座就围绕那个东西填 FAFSA 表跟 CSS 算的，哎。Principle of resident of parent is in 就学校基本上不算，私立学校都是要算进去。Does parent also impact kids financial aid？ 这个就是刚才我们讲到的那个 asset， 就是要从那个左边转到右边的那一部分，影响很大。第9个题目 ，Is this protects retirement contribution only account for 1 year？ Yes， 也就是那个 best year。不是 for 1 year 啊，就是 best year 4年的 best year。It's
4 years.
4 years, yes, right. Yeah， 就是每年有一个 best year， 哎。
Yeah, because you fill out you will need to fill out the FAFSA form and CSS form every year. You apply for every year. Every year you get the different grant, the scholarship, the financial aid package actually is different every year if your situation changes.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah, depend on the family contribution. 所以你每一年填 FAFSA， 每一年的这个钱大概都会有变化的，尤其是在一个 lost job 或者家庭经济情况有重大变化的情况之下。就是说有些学校就是说为什么呢？这个里头有很少几个学校，它就是说是你第1年不填以后不收你。那么我们知道的就是比较那个的，在 Pennsylvania 这个我们附近的就是巴克利奥，它是对所有学生是这么规定的。那么斯坦福是对国际学生是这么规定的。所以你申请的时候，这个东西你要考虑清楚。你就是 FAFSA 填了的话，对你不会有 negative 的影响。哎。第10个问题 ，Have only prior start college to adjust move asset so it can help financial aid application。这个呢，就是说要看你的 move 的话，你只要在best year之前 move 都可以。但是我们知道有些就是刚才讲到的 contribution limit， 它那个有 limit 的时候，你就要算好你1年能放进去能 move 多少。那么你就是说在 move 多了，你这个东西就只能往前再移，哎。
So that's why we suggest you plan well, plan early, okay?
Yes， OK， 然后 for primary residential property, the property equity count as included。这个刚才已经说到了。是在那个public 的时候不说。然后第12个问题 ，Is it worth to withdraw and pay penalty and tax first in order to receive more financial aid？ 这个事情要根据每个家庭的 financial condition 来算出来。这个我 generally speak， 你就是说的话，低收入家庭这个值，高收入家庭不值。那么这个界限在哪儿？这个要具体计算。Can you choose to buy RAS 401k instead of General 401k？这个是一个wise 的 option。那么刚才那个孔博士举的例子里头已经有了，他这个就是把那个普通的401k转到RAS 401k，就是这个普林斯顿的那个家庭，他的financial aid就增加了很多。当然，这个最具体的要到具体的这个情况里头来计算啊。然后是 citizen in Canada can leverage
U.S. citizens，sorry，
就是一部分学校是这样算的，就是那个我那个表里头有的学校我已经在后面加了说明， Canadian
不是，他是
人
sorry 老师，他是 U.S. citizen，他人在加拿大。
与那个没关系。这个 US citizen 那是只要是 US citizen 或者 US green， 他都是可以。
但如果父母没有在美国交税，我们都是在加拿大，这样也可以吗，老师？
那你要根据你的税表，你要没有的话，但是你的 property 跟那个东西也要算的，是可以，
我补充一下哈，我们今年填了一个学生是这个孩子是在那个 Georgia，OK，父母在中国，我们帮他填的，他是这个只要是父母在哪里，只要你在美国交税每年填那个1040 form IRS 1040 form。你就 qualify，OK？
明白，我们情况不是这样，我们是小孩是 citizen， 我们大人都是加拿大人，但是我们都是在加拿大交税，但小孩想去美国读书，然后就问一下能不能 leverage 类似这样的 program。
那就是，那你不是美国的那个 tax
对
filer，那你就会比我不知道他是应该算 international 或者是算那个。
你的父母是
对，
父母也是美国 citizen 吗？
小孩是在美国出生，然后在美国长到了2岁以后，我们全部都来了加拿大，所以他是美国护照，就是说我就不知道他是应该算 international 还是算美国当地的学生。
这个事情在税务上是这个我们要查一下。因为他申请大学的时候录取是在美国 citizen 这个坡里头，但是financial的这个填 FAFSA 跟 CSS 它是要有这个条件的，你可有那个你没有商业 secretary number 吗？
没有，他不在，他申请大学，他已经申请了 ED， 他说他认为他是在 international pool 里面。所以我就有点confused。
这个现在 international 的破每个学校都规定不一样所以这个不是 general 的
I see， 但是 common app 里面是common app 里面都是 international pool 里面，那不就是绝大多数的，除了加州大学之外都是 international 对吗？
这个是各个大学的规定，就是按你的大学算，还是按你的绿卡和公民算，这个是各个学校自己定的
OK，
这个学校网站上都说得很清楚
OK, thank you.
OK， 好，行。If you miss the deadline for EA, you still apply for FA。这个是这个学校自己规定的，有些学校这个是可以有 grace period 的，但大多数学校是这个是不行。实际上 ED 本身来说。这个ED的 risk 就是说，他假如给的你钱少了，你没办法而且你自己 miss 了这个deadline， 这个只能去跟学校讨论然后学生开公司会影响助学金，这个事情就是说，就是看你怎么那个了。你要是 loss， 你亏损，当然会这个就是刚才已经说到了，就是说这个是你的 income 跟那个是 student 的 income 跟那个 asset 这个你要是赚钱的话，一大部分钱都要会交过去就学生这个是第17条 Russ RI am the student name.
The students, if you don't have any income, how can you get to Roth IRA?
对，这个他是有那个的，他16的这个有一些学生他那个我知道他就是说在学校里头他那个 work study 或者 summer intern 他有这个然后他就把那个挣到的钱就 summer 的钱弄到那个 Roth IRA 里头去是这样子的这个假如是 qualified 是不算在这个里头的已经是 Roth 了，应该是 qualified 是吧 你那个 RAS 反正是有 limit 的了，
对，刚刚讲的那个 Georgia 那个小孩的例子，能不能再重复一下？Georgia 那小孩在 Georgia 读书，然后这个父母在国内那个例子。
OK，那个这个孩子在 Georgia，他是就是在这边上 high school，但他父母呢都是在国内，他们是全家都是绿卡，全家都是绿卡，但是他们每年就说都 file 那个这个 US 的那个1040 form。
那个父母都有绿卡，那没有绿卡的美国交税这个是一样吗？
应该是你只要在这个 FIFSA 只要在美国交税，你都可以填。
都可以按照美国的学生来填。
你可以按照美国填，但是还是有那个你看你孩子就说能不能拿到这个 financial aid， 他那个在 FIFSA 里面，他还有那个 non-quali， 就说就是有 resident， 还有non resident， 所以说那个你只要 file 了，按照规定不叫按照规定 ，FIFSA 里面。你就说 officially， 只要你在美国交税你就可以填 FIFSA form CSS form。但是至于你能不能拿到钱那个这个就是你孩子是到美国来来读书，像那种小留就是到美国来读高中生读高中，但是没有任何还是中国公民或者没有美国的身份，只是美国的 如果你只是美国的 F1 student 的话那个是 count 那个 international 这是我的理解哈。
OK， 就是说如果父母在美国交税，就算是 international student， 可不可以填 FAFSA？ 应该不可以，对吧？
你可以填，你只要在美国交税，你都填。但是你能不能拿到，这个是学校它有它的规定。
OK，
因为你填这个表，你只要在美国交税，你就可以在上面，你只要交税，你只要有 Social Security Number 你都可以填这个表。那填了这些表呢，它都是按照你孩子选择的，他会送到那个学校去。Okay. 学校是不是给你钱那个是学校的规定。
但父母没有绿卡，这个
你只要交税，你就 qualify 这个填表，但是给不给钱那就是另外一回事了。
OK， thank you。
Sure。
然后是刚才回答到18那个。第18这个刚才孔博士那个专门有一个表，就是说哪一年这个 best year 是这个放了这个表的，我记得
对，有那个表，就是哪一年哪一年算的。
对。然后是19是 Canada citizen， does he qualify US student？这个是我就说那个各个学校自己有自己的规定，就是有些学校对加拿大的这个 citizen， 它是这个对美国是同等算的这个是各个学校自己的规定。然后海外资产原则上是要算的这个所有的这个里头没有强调，因为以前的这个就是海外资产清算的话，就是美国有个什么全球财产算的那个东西，但是2018年公布，然后给了2年的这个 grace period， 然后就是从2020年1月7号还是2月7号开始，它一定要强制算的。但是现在的话，这个是具体怎么样？因为这个在2020年1月7号到现在，这才是第1年现在还没有看到你假如不算有什么例子我们目前手上还没有这样的例子因为这个是最新的规定然后21条是绿卡和公民，这个是同等对待的在这 financial aid 上面这个是 permanent resident 这个是
OK，我现在没有其他的问题，但是杨博士，您继续讲你的 slide 还是？
讲完了，我讲完了，我就是放的那个表，
OK，这里还有个问题就是
新问题，投资房刚才已经算了，这个就是 rent property， 刚才这个孔博士专门解释了这个事情，花了好几分钟解释的了，投资房absolute的那个equity是算在那个里头的了，
那个杨博士，我问一下，说那个公司如果是学生开，然后学生不拿收入，他那个收入假如说都放在他的那个就是核销在公司里面的话，那这个会受影响吗？
这个公司有各种样的类别，这个 LLC， 然后什么那个东西，它这个东西具体都有自己。小公司的话，本身这个事情就是它不同的类别都有具体规定的，
就假如说 LLC 呢
？LLC 是捆绑在家庭的那个税表里头算的，
哦，
那
就看家庭的税就可以了，是吧？
对，
名字在谁下没有关系。假如说我就放在学生的名下，
放在学生名下，那这个东西你就是学生名下是这个 income， 他假如你是他的 income， 那这个东西，你既然说他没工资的话，那这个他就没有 income 了，
就是他可以给别人发工资，他自己不拿就行。
那这个东西能当老板，这个一般的来说，这个学校会，反正也看到的，你假如要是填进去的话，
这个是有好处呢，还是没有好处啊？
这个东西，不好说，因为这个具体的细节，我们这个因为这样的例子，老实说我们没有仔细研究过，就不对比不同的那个细致。这个
好的，谢谢。
反正 small business 基本上来说是 friendly 的，
杨博士，
好的，谢谢。
如果是父母有一个300万美金的房子，基本上申请私校就拿不到资助了，对吧？
基本上150万的这个财产往上，你这些讲座你都不要听。
因为他是 principal resident 也不行，对吧
？150万算乘以5.6%这个学费，150万就是到了8万9万，对吧
？150万你再重复一下是什么意思？
就是所有的财产，那个计算那个的财产交学费是乘以5.6%，就是100万要交5万6。
OK。
150万就是要交掉8万多，那么大学学费也就是1年，刚才算了都是7万多。所以你就1分钱不挣，你有一个150万的房子，你就准备掏钱了
OK， 谢谢 OK， 那就
或者你股票现金，反正这些东西任何一个，你的就是那个刚才那个表上面的那个左边的那个值，有一个150万的，
那就是
你别的东西
申请私校。住的房子300万，连问也不要问，就是这个意思。
对呀。
谢谢 OK。
那么学校指望你去 donate 钱给他
OK，
对吧？你这么有钱，对吧？
那不好意思，那我也就问一下，那要小孩学习好能申请 scholarship 吗
？scholarship 刚才说了，那个藤校都没有啊。
没注意，不好意思
你不要藤校，别的学校刚才说芝加哥大学、杜克大学都有的
OK， 还是OK， 好，谢谢。
就是看你的那个了行好。
请问一下孔博士、杨博士，刚才你们 share 的那个 base year 是 for income purposes， 那么对于 asset 来讲是哪一年是base year？
你再说一遍。
就是刚才您 share 的那个表格，就是学生9年级到12年级，报所得税、报收入的时候，它是不一样。2 years。OK， 就是说，如果说打个比方是，2021年毕业 ，asset 就是要看2019年的，是这个意思吗？
对的。
明白，谢谢。
不客气。
然后投资房刚才已经说了，这个投资房就是说那个1块底算的，你的贷款部分 这个东西是有这个就是跟那个你的房子的 value 这个是算出来的啊，实时资产。然后23自住房怎么算资产？也这个里头也是算 equity 啊，equity 的话就是说那个 FAFSA 里头不算 ，CSS 也要算啊。
那个请问一下那个杨博士，那比如说那个我贷款还剩20万这个房子，然后我资产有20万，我是应该把这个资产留在银行里面呢，还是把贷款还了？就是哪种方式更好一点？就是申请的时候。
这个东西你到最后都学到学校了。你假如要是说你是上这个公立大学的话，你放到房子里头，反正自住房是不算的啊，你留在资产里头，你就要这个去交这个学费，对吧？但是你这个要是算在这个上私立学校的话，反正你搬来搬去这个东西都要算啊，就搬不搬都无所谓啊。
就是如果在房子里面的话，刚才您说那个存款的6%是要那个算在学费里面。那就说那个如果房子还清了，比如说这个房子50万的房子，那他也会算你按6%来算你要交的那个学费费用，是这样算的。
就是私立学校是这样要算的，公立学校算，就是他法律 CSS 要算。
明白了，谢谢你啊。
不谢啊，因为我这个每一个类的，实际上它这个 CSS 怎么算，每个学校还有不同的计算方法，这些反正我那些有公众号文章都把它写清楚了啊。
请问呀，如果2个人的工资W2 有30万以上，像这种情况下，可能就不太可能能申请到资助了。
30万基本上是个坎，能拿个就是说你这样算吧，这30万基本上是20%嘛，啊，就20%的话，能，你要求你付6万嘛，就是说有可能也需要给的就是他需要的能拿个几千块钱或者1-2万块钱。但是就是30到35，这是最高的，就是各个学校给的不一样啊。
我补充一下哈，我那个有一个例子，我们一个朋友的那个例子 Emily， 不知道你还记不记得那个 Emily， 她上 NYU 的，她的父母的收入是就是说 last year 是300,000， 30万，她拿的是 full scholarship， no full。那个 financial package full right，
那是为什么呢？
所以这个是就是说，这个就是为什么我们要 plan early plan well， 你就是这个资产你怎么样放，这个是这个对你的那个financial aid 这个影响非常非常大。就是我们那个表格，我是讲的，就是你。都忘掉，都要记住那一个表格，就是左边算资产的那些，还有右边不算的，你怎么样按照你的具体情况，你要在孩子填 FAFSA 之前，你要把那个左边的资产尽量 move 到右边去，这样的话，就我们在填那个表的时候，你就在一个 favorable position 你就可以就有利于你那个你申请到更多的奖学金。我们这个就是我们的就是我们美东学院的另外一项工作，就是帮助父母来那个 plan 在 maximize your financial aid。
还有那个孔博士，我想问您一个问题，您刚才讲那个就是自己 start business 那一块，我没太明白。就比如说 start business 虽然就是说可以扣除一些费用，但是如果 start business如果那个就是说挣了钱的话，那不是也要交学费吗？就是，所以我不太理解这个。
你有很多那 qualified deduction deductible right 一般来说，很多时候你就是 the first 2 years 大部分你可以 claim 100% loss right。
这样的，明白。明白了。
你那一张可以再放一下吗？
哪一张？
包括税跟不包括税的哪一种
？Sure， 可以的。OK，
还没有照到。
他又回去了。OK， 这一张。
这张
对，谢谢。 所以你就说你要想 maximize your financial aid， 就是说在孩子申请填那个 FAFSA 之前，就说左边的尽量少，就把它 move 到右边，因为右边的都不在那个表格上面。
您好，这个 used when retired 是什么意思？就是右边这几个。
右边那个 qualified retirement， 就像你公司提供的 401k， 如果你在学校在他提供的是 403b，right？ and also the 457， 那个都是 qualified retirement， 那个都不算。但是
上面那个
就是我们还讲了，就是说前面一年的他会要就说 back 就说计算回去，就是 MAGI， 就说如果前一年，就说你当年那个一定要会算回去的。
这个 used 我刚才那个 used when retired， 就是说你要到了一定的年龄，这个钱才能拿出来。你没到这个年龄，你这个钱就是放在里头，你是不能往外拿的。
对，就是那个 IRS 有规定的那个要59 and a half，right？
就是我现在如果没退休，有这个 401k 也是这个算 excluded， 不是说一定要等我 retire 了这个才算 excluded 是吧？
就对，那个钱不算在里头。
这个钱都是 excluded。但是你现在如果你是40几岁。所以你是不能用的。我只是写的这个 used when retired， 这个是就说市场和这个没太那个就是
明白了，明白了，谢谢。
就是你小孩上学这个钱你用不上，等于是你想拿他交学费，你不能拿这个钱交学费，就这个意思。
是，谢谢。
请问一下那个 GIP 那个7702是
那个是 investment growth insurance policy， 那个是就说有现金值的保险，在那个在 IRS 的那个 tax 那个 code 里面，它的那个 IRS tax code 是7702 7702。
I see。那个 annuity 那个 annuity 的话，那我不是随便去买，它怎么样子才叫 qualified 呢？
那 qualified 是这样的哈，就是说如果你换工作那你前面公司你不是有 401k 吗？前面公司的 401k 你可以走 over 到那个 annuity， 那个走 over 的 annuity 就属于 qualified。但是如果你自己买的，就从你的现金你 after tax money。
Thank you。我还有一个问题啊，就是假设我有rental property investment property， 那因为你在这个很多年过程中间你要交税的嘛，对吧？你 tax 的那个做 tax return 的时候，你会 depreciate 的话，等于就是把你就是减税了，但是你要把房子卖出去的人，你要把那个税补出去的。那你这个算这个equity 的时候，是不是我可以把那个我原来要加呢，就是我将来要交的那个税的部分可以减掉了？
那个你的 rental property 在你填 FAFSA 的时候，那个 property 还是卖掉了，
没卖，
还在。OK， 没卖的话，你的那个 equity of your rental property is the market value 减去你的 mortgage， 那是。
但是我还有 owe 的那个问题是，我还 owe 的那个因为一般的房子它会 gain 呢，就是现在的房子吧，它 have some gains， 对吧？你 gain 的话。
你就这个你就说你 gain 是算在你又当年你申请的时候，你这个房子值多少钱 market value 对，来那是一个钱，然后你还有你的 mortgage 来就是你的 market value 减掉你的 mortgage， 那就是你的 equity， 那个减掉的那个钱就是你要填是你的 asset， 你要再填的那个 FAFSA 里面算你的 equity，OK？、
对，那个 equity 的话，equity 的话，那就是问题是还要交税的呀。你将来假如我把房子卖掉的话，
这里面不管你，这里面这个 asset 里面就是比如说你的这个 rental property 数50万的话，那就是 market value 50万，那你还有30万的贷款，那你的 equity 就是20万，那这个是20万就是要填到这个 CSS 的这个 5 star 里面。
所以这个 potential 就是你的 equity 里面事实上有。假如我要有10万块，事实上要交 tax 的，将来我假如卖掉了，
这个我们在填这个表里面，我不管你交 tax， 你所有的 tax 我已经在 FFSA 里面，我已经就自动的用你的 Social Security Number 和你的 IRS 的 1040 form 已经连起来了。那具体那个税表就是不需要你填任何东西，那个他自己从那个 IRS 的那个网站自动给你 dump 到进你的 FFSA 里面去。那 equity 是专门一条你要填出来，所以你那个20万进去和你那个税不管，税是你的
折旧也不算是吧？
自动进去。
折旧呢？折旧也不算是吧？
那和你这个一点没关系。这个
是跟您的 income 是跟你当年的 income 已经就是刚才算已经是到了1040表里头去了吧？
那如果这个 rental property 的 mortgage 已经付完了，但是呢，申请了一个 home equity line， 这个还能 deduct 吗？还是 market value 可以减去这个 home equity line 吗？
我觉得应该吧。
应该可以，对吧？
应该可以，对。
那这个，那就可以，就是反正 home equity line 可以申请到。
是这样的，如果假如说你想做那个 home equity line 的话，你为什么不 refinance 呢？如果你 refinance 的话，在这里面是更 qualified 的。这个事实上就是你在填这个这个表里面，事实上你如果是 home equity line 那个 equity line 的话，那个事实上你是 play with the number，right？
对，但是
如果人家就说就是说不查的话，就是说你运气好的话，你可以就是 bypass。但是如果严格来说，那个是不是很好的吧？就说假如说万一被那个的话就不好。如果你申请这个 line 的话，你干嘛？你可以，你想要 money 的话，你可以 refinance 嘛 ，refinance the house， 你把那个 cash 你可以 cash out 嘛，对吧？那这样的话绝对就可以了，因为那个就是弄了，对吧？
对，好的，谢谢。
那孔博士，我问你一下，你说的那个 MAGI 那个 pre-tax retirement contribution， 那么这个就是要加回去的，但是你的那个就是 excluded part， 那么这样的话是不是做 IGIP 会更好一点呢？就是在填 CSS 的时候，这4年的时候。
对，这个就是我们 plan early 那个就是一般来说，我们都是在孩子上那个上 high school 之前，我们就说如果能够 set up 你7702这个 IGIP 的话，这个就说根据你的那个那个叫什么 face value， 你可以看可以放多少钱，就说你这个呢，因为 IRS 也是有规定的，因为这个就是另外一个 subject 了。但是呢，就是说，你根据 face value， 像我们一般的一个 meeting 哈，你可以大概就根据你的年龄，那50岁的话，你大概可以大概可以放20万，那个20万呢，它要分4年到5年才能放完，所以你越早越好。然后呢，这个钱呢，事实上 IGIP 里面的钱呢，它的用法是很灵活的。事实上，我们有很多 client， 我们把钱在孩子小的时候把钱放到这个里面，然后孩子上大学呢，把从这个里面拿学费，这个是最好的情况，因为这样的话，你所有钱不算进学费，你可以拿 financial aid， 那个你 EFC 你自己送的钱，你可以从这里面把钱拿出来，而且这里面的钱呢，它所有的增长是不交税的。
所以这个可能就是要具体每个就是要做下来就是算的是吧？
对，
不能因为好像就是从你那个表格 included 跟 excluded 里面，就是按道理 是应该 qualify retirement 是算在 excluded， 但是在真正填那个 CSS 的那个表格的时候，大学又会把你的 contribution 又加回去了。
对，那是 for 那一年，就是说你孩子填 FAFSA 那一年，但是以前在那个之前所有的是不算的，但是那一年就说你孩子上大学那4年都会算回去。
对对对，所以那就是之前要 plan 好了，就是这个具体。OK， 好的好的，谢谢。
要是你愿意的话，我们可以 set 那个就是 101的，我可以给你专门讲这个 IGIP。
好的好的好。
我有一个问题关于那个rental property 那个 market value，market value 就是说那个 county 的那个 tax 那个 market value 用那个数字是吧？
这个东西有争议的哈，就是我们那个叫什么那个就是我们帮很多家庭填这个 FAFSA 和 CSS， 那个就说按道理来说，这 market value 呢，它是在就说，比如说你今年你就是说你这个平均值，那我们呢就说为了 maximize 这个 financial aid 呢，我们有时候呢会折中一下，就说你因为在你 county tax 的那个 property tax 那上面，那个钱是比你 market value 要低很多的，那如果你低太多的话，那个就说就不太就说不太 convincible， 对吧？所以会折中一下，你就是你看就不要太太 out of 就是那个太就说你如果太 ridiculous 的话，可能人家不相信。比如说你在 county 上面可能是个20万，事实上你 market value 有50万的话，如果你只填20万的话，可能就不怎么那个叫什么。
那假设是还有一个问题啊，谢谢你就是说还有一个问题，就是假设我有2个孩子同时上大学的话，那你5.6% 的那个 total 那个 net assets 的话是包括2个人的，对不对？
对，你有2个孩子同时上大学的话，那是非常非常好的情况，因为你只需要付1个人的学费。
That's good 谢谢。
所以如果你有双胞胎或者3胞胎，你最划算了。
OK， 谢谢。
客气。
OK， 好的，非常感谢那个孔博士跟那个杨博士，然后我们今天那个持续时间非常长，已经将近快3个小时了，所以呢，我们最后再接受一个问题，然后我们就今天就差不多可以结束，然后我这边已经在那个聊天栏里面留下了那个杨博士的联系方式，然后还有人问孔博士的联系方式的话，杨博士您介不介意把孔博士的联系方式一起给，或者说就联系您就可以了呢？
我写一下吧。
OK， 好。
就联系梁博士就好了，他会转给我。
好。
行。
那就转给我就好了。
对，然后大家也可以联系我们 PCDC， 如果有什么问题关于的话，我们也会把这个问题跟反正我们跟杨博士、孔博士都会保持密切联系，所以您有什么问题也可以就是随时跟我们联系，对，然后那个我们因为我看到大家很踊跃嘛，如果还有个问题的话，我们再接受一个问题。
今天讨论的挺多的。你被 mute 了。
对，因为我家小孩在后面吵，我看其他。
那你这个可能要早点的，他也等不住了，7点钟了。